Hey guys, I'm Ethan Moore from Stockroom Supply. We're going to do another episode of EthAnswers. One of my co-workers met Sean at the Hartville, Ohio woodworking show, and he was asking some questions about the molding sanders, the molding sander kit, and the molding master. He does this custom trimmer, so we got a piece of walnut. He left this with us so we can sand it, and basically, Sean, we're going to send you this video and just help you decide what grit would be best for you. So we got some walnut here. A little piece of, well, basically size of a quarter round walnut, and some cherry. These are all hardwoods. These aren't the hardest of the hardwoods. I probably would be going, and we'll try a couple different grits. I personally probably would go with about a 180. Now the one little interesting thing is, I know he asked specifically, Sean asked at the show, there's this little line. I guess this line right in the molding here was from maybe Sean was using two different types of router bits, and maybe the height wasn't set quite exactly where it needed to be, but he wants to know if we can get rid of that line. The only issue with this line is it's actually considered part of the profile. So the only way to get rid of that line or soften that line is to use a little bit too coarse of grit. So I'll also use a 120 grit just to show you what I can do with that line there to soften it up. So yeah, let's give her a try. We'll start with the 120. I have a 120 grit head on the molding sander kit. And then on the left side, I have a 180. On the right side, I have a 220 on my molding master. So we'll start with this piece of walnut and we'll sand it. Alright, so I'm just going to pass it through. Now if I'm looking at that, I need to lower it a little bit. And on a piece of trim like this, you see how it's on about maybe a 20-degree angle or so. I could actually put a little shim underneath to tilt this piece of molding, and that would just help give a more consistent finish all the way around. The molding master head is kind of nice because with the machine you can actually tilt the head. The molding sander kit, you can't do that, but you can put a shim under there to do that kind of thing. So I'm just going to hold it by hand on a bit of an angle just to help. So I just went a little bit in just to show you. So this is a 120 grit. Getting a better light here. That line, I don't know if you can see that. That's where I stopped right there. That line is basically gone. The only issue is that sharp edge there, I did soften it. So it all kind of depends on what kind of finish you're hoping for. Now we're going to use I'll try a 180 and I'll show you the difference. Let me just turn my machine on here. So we're going to stand the opposite side. So a lot quieter. A nicer finish. We didn't soften those sharp corners of my molding much at all. That line though is still present, though definitely softened, and it's been sanded, but it is still present. Walnut, as far as the hardness, very, very similar to cherry. So anytime you use walnut and cherry, I basically use the same grit. So that's a 180 grit. It's really quite hard to see, but you can definitely feel the difference there. And then the quarter round, all the same deal. I can hit that with my 180. I stopped right there. Or I could do my 120. I'll show you the difference. That's a 120. So you see how aggressive that is? It can be a little bit too aggressive on fine profiles like this. So, yeah, Sean, I hope that helps you decide what grit you should be using. Again, my recommendation probably is a 180 grit. But if you are looking to remove that line, you may have to go to a 120 grit. Again, up to you. Thanks for asking the question, Sean. If anybody else has any other questions, just email me at info@stockroomsupply.com, or comment on the video, and feel free to subscribe to our channel. Thanks.